You can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcast of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Follow the leader.
Oh my God.
Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
Ay, ay, los pongo a bailar la pelúa. Y el que no baile que lo despelucan. No me cuquen, lean los números pa' que se eduquen. Yo no hago canciones, hago himnos pa' que no caduquen. En este género yo fui un Hadouken. Ey, y se extinguieron como en los dinosaurs. Antes que me apague, se apaga el sol. Subimos y rompimos el ascensor. El prepa que les tiro Barbasol. Maldito conejo, ahora los miro de arriba y de lejos. Ey, no contesto DM, no. Hablen con mi manejo, pero él también va a pichar. Te juro que yo no me quise. Ey, le a mi crush. Shh, ya me aburraste. Y yo así soy Milly sin usar Richard. Yankee se retira y vamos a switchar. Voy a ser el jefe, me van a fichar. Mi nombre por siempre se va a escuchar porque estoy en mi pick.
Welcome in. Do not adjust your dial. You are locked in to KBLA Talk 1580 with Jill Munroe. And we're starting a little differently tonight, but you can still feel the vibes. Hip hop is universal, right? Right. You know Andy's always on theme. Start getting your Bad Bunny knowledge up. Because he's performing at the Super Bowl in 2026. And we're going to get into a message that's being sent from the Trump universe about the Super Bowl and some plans that they have for the evening. Because, you know, people are crazy. Listen, tonight we're getting into all the things, all the trending topics. We got a little Law and Order beat for you. We got some receipts, some shade, you know, a little tea for you. Tea party, right? And of course, we like to start the night with a couple of conversation starters. So, first up, listen, I don't understand, right? Well, I guess I do, but I don't understand in 2025 how rappers are still getting caught up with their business funds, right? There's a plethora of information. People mentor, right? And it's usually not the female rappers that you see these type of situations with. It's usually the men. So I don't know if I don't even know. Is Rod Wave, he's a singer? I don't know, right? He's for the youth, right? The kids really like Rod Wave. He's facing a $27 million lawsuit from Grizzly Touring. They claim he breached his last lap tour contract. They say they advanced him $57 million for 35 shows, but only 26 happened. And Rod allegedly spent the money on a second home because, you know, we're entrepreneurs. We are creating generational wealth no matter the cost. And private jets and, of course, all of the trinkets and baubles and things that come along with being a rapper. That is what they are accusing him of, right? They're also saying that he violated the exclusivity contract because he then turned around and booked a completely new tour through his own touring company. Thus, I learned the business and now I'm going to flip it back. But probably there was a window within that exclusivity that he couldn't start that. So might be in violation of that, right? This is what happens when touring is the real bag, right? Because let's be real, the music industry, as far as streaming and making money from your music, that's no longer the play. That is just a piece, a promotional tool. Of course, you have your very, very tip tops, but you see even them, as demonstrated this week by the actions of Cardi and Nicki, can be a little shaky, right? So I don't know. Good luck to that man. I guess, right idea, wrong method. Because, yeah, start a business. Yeah, get property. But no, make sure the funds are free and clear, not for... I guess the $57 million wasn't for him. It was for production costs, lights, rigging, all of the things that come along with producing a moving tour. It wasn't an arena tour, so it wasn't really, really large, but enough. All right, so next up, look out for Miss Toni Braxton. She has 2 new Lifetime movies coming based on her songs. One, He Wasn't Man Enough for Me. It'll be dropping next month on November 22nd. And the other, Breathe Again, is dropping in 2026. So she has a multi-picture deal with Lifetime, and the cast includes for, I believe this is He Wasn't Man Enough for Me, Essence Atkins, Cree Summer, Thomas Cadeau. So the theme is a little dating heartbreak in one, right? So she's turning her discography into another medium. And I think that's an interesting prospect. We saw it done really, I think, first with BET when they had Tales, right? Where they were taking hip hop songs and instead of it being videos, they were turning them into series. I find it interesting, though, that people don't point to that, the uniqueness of it. Now, the output, the actual result of it, I don't know, but it is forward thinking. And I do think as we see different things happening with catalogs and rights, these are things that we'll see more of, you know, from billboard to the big screen, a cinematic universe. When we come forward, more trending topics and headlines, all of that and more with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
You're riding with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Small businesses are the heart of America. But you don't have to go it alone. As the nation's largest nonprofit resource of expert business mentoring, SCORE has helped millions of entrepreneurs build their businesses for free. Get the connections, education, and guidance you need with SCORE. We're ready to help. Find a mentor today at score.org.
Dude, did you order the new iPhone 17 Pro? Got it from Verizon, the best 5G network in America. I never looked so good.
You look the same.
But with this camera, everything looks better, especially me.
You haven't changed your hair in 15 years. Selfies? Check, please.
New and existing customers can get the new iPhone 17 Pro, designed to be the most powerful iPhone ever. With eligible phone trade-in and unlimited ultimate. Any condition guaranteed. Best 5G source root metrics data, United States, 1H 2025. All rights reserved. Trade-in and additional terms apply for all offers. See Verizon.com for details.
Hello, KBLA delegation. Tavis Smiley here. On Saturday, October 25th, LA Trade Tech becomes the epicenter of ideas that matter. The Left Coast Forum is bringing together voices that challenge, inspire, and illuminate. With keynote presentations from people like noted economist Richard Wolff, the man who breaks down capitalism in ways that make sense to working folk like you and me, and Dr. Cornel West will be there, the brilliant philosopher and activist who never stops fighting for justice and speaking truth to power and to the powerless for that matter. So this isn't just another conference. This is where ideas get tested, where the conversations that shape our future begin. Multiple plenary sessions, dynamic speakers, real talk about the issues that impact our communities, and then some good food and a live band. Saturday, October 25th, LA Trade Tech, Left Coast Forum. The event is free and open to the public, but you must register at our KBLA1580.com website, where you can also peep the plenary topics. The future belongs to those who show up and engage. So don't just think about change, be part of the conversation that creates it. The Left Coast Forum is brought to you by the LA Progressive, the Empowerment Congress, Community Coalition, Partnership for Growth LA, Southwest Voter Registration Education Project, LA Care Health Plan, United Teachers Los Angeles, Black Progressive Action Coalition, St. John's Community Health, the National Lawyers Guild, the Weingart Foundation, and more. Space is limited, so if I were you, I'd register right now at KBLA1580.com. Your voice matters, your presence matters. We'll see you there.
Now back to more entertainment news with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome back in. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. So if any point during this conversation you want to tap in, 800-920-1580. Of course, you can hit us up on social media, KBLA 1580. I'm at Stiletto Jill, of course. And get into the YouTube chat. The chat is already chatting. They have some opinions. They have some opinions about Bad Bunny at the Super Bowl. We'll get into those perhaps, but let's get into Bad Bunny. And of course, we knew that there would be a sharp reaction to him being announced as performing at the Super Bowl, considering everything that is currently going on in our country, right? And needless to say, we've run down the reasons why, for business, as far as the NFL is concerned, it was a smart move. We know Jay-Z is the orchestrator of the Apple halftime show, whatever that process is, selecting acts, not however that goes down. But I think it is particularly interesting that we are continuing to discover yet again how many people don't realize that Puerto Rico is an American territory. Now, they can't vote for the president, though, but they're American. So there's that, right? I know that there are mixed feelings about what happened in the election with Trump, as far as, you know, some of our Latino brothers and sisters. However, we see how quickly these tides can turn for us, right? Right. So here's what went down. Trump's former campaign manager, Corey Lewandowski, appeared on The Benny Show, and he claimed that ICE should raid the 2026 Super Bowl. He also slammed Bad Bunny's selection as shameful and not inclusive. So, let's hear what he had to say specifically.
Will ICE have enforcement at the Super Bowl for the Bad Bunny Super Bowl halftime show?
Benny, there is nowhere that you can provide safe haven to people who are in this country illegally, not the Super Bowl and nowhere else. We will find you. We will apprehend you. We will put you in a detention facility, and we will deport you. So know that that is a very real situation under this administration, which is completely contrary to how it used to be. That said, look, the NFL has been so woke for so many years. They finally decided to make a comeback. They finally had people stand up for our great national anthem. But remember, these guys, Colin Kaepernick used to say, well, I wasn't being chosen to play in the NFL team because I was kneeling. No, you sucked, and that's why you weren't being played. That's why no team wanted to pick you up, because they're a business is the bottom line. And
so rhetoric, rhetoric. However, I guess maybe I am on the outside judging by our chat, because they seem to feel as though this isn't a problem. I feel like no matter how you really feel, do you want agents swooping down on sporting events or concerts or things of that nature? Like, this is a bit ridiculous. And if we talk about what just happened in Chicago, where some black residents were caught up, and it was scoop them up first, ask questions later. So I feel like that should at least be in the air when you think about these things. It is not just them over there. They're being funny, right? But let's get into a couple of comments from the chat. Right. So Lucas Frank says, Bad Bunny ain't got nothing to do with the black community. And DJ Black 909 agrees, says he can perform at the World Cup, right? And Forrest Harrison says, let's give our Latin homies some love. Now, this is the thing, right? Shout out to that. So, again, I think, one, the idea to come back and use it to double down on Colin Kaepernick, you should feel a way about it if you feel what Colin was standing for, right? All of this is just wordplay and gamesmanship. Now, Bad Bunny did not bring his tour to the United States. He did do a 30-day residency in Puerto Rico. He didn't bring it to the U.S. because of concern over potential ICE raids. This is his only U.S. performance. But we also have had Shakira perform at the Super Bowl. Do you know what I'm saying? We've had groups perform that had members that weren't American born per se, or, I just think that it is the action, right? Whether you agree with that or not, it is impacting Black people. Again, if you don't think so, look to what happened in Chicago. I believe it's Chicago, right? The one that just recently happened. So, listen, Lucas Frank says they voted for it. They should suffer the consequences. I understand, but
they is not everybody, though.
They is not everybody. And part two to that is my concern is for us within those consequences. EA says, I don't listen to Bad Bunny, but I'm aware of his brand. I think he was a good selection for the NFL that's trying to appeal to international markets. Exactly. We've had an NFL game in Brazil this year, Mexico City, London for several years, Germany, et cetera, et cetera. They're talking expansion to Europe. So they got to do something. They got to do something. And I'm pretty sure he has songs with Cardi B. He has songs with Drake. You never know who might pop up with him. Andy?
It shouldn't even really matter. If you ain't rocking with him, you're not going to watch the show anyway. So all this little outrage about
But people always watch the show of people they say they don't want to see.
Yeah, that's
to
my
complain
point.
About. They're going to hate watch. Yeah.
Chill out, y'all. Y'all tripping, dog.
So EA says, I also like the Bad Bunny selection because it's got MAGA triggered. That's the icing on the cake. I agree with that. Fahima says they did the same thing when Mark Anthony sung the racist national anthem. Those dummies don't know Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory and Puerto Ricans are citizens. Someone else in the chat says that, it was Lucas Frank, they don't identify as Americans. Again, for me, putting those things aside, because, those are things that you feel how you feel. And respectfully, we'll let you feel how you feel. But it's not like the line is drawn just at them at this point. Do you know what I'm saying? They are sweep first, ask questions later. And the precedence is ugly.
And honestly, who they going to swoop up anyway?
You know I have no idea.
Not to judge or anything like that, but like those type of people that you're probably trying to swoop up probably ain't even gonna be at the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? The Super Bowl is a corporate event.
It is.
And I just, once again, like you said, it's all rhetoric. It's all political mumbo jumbo. If people don't see how much of a political situation this is, you're asleep. Shout out to Jay-Z. This is his form of activism.
Activism, taking a stand.
You feel me?
He does, he does it a lot of ways. So we'll see. I understand the feelings, right? Because saying some of those voters in that contingent made a bad decision is an understatement. All right. So we got a caller on the line, Fahima from DC. Fahima, welcome in. Always good to hear from you.
Yes, I'll be quick. Well, first off, the person who said that Puerto Ricans don't identify as Americans are sounding as ignorant as the MAGA people that are complaining about Bad Bunny. We have the Schomburg Center for Research in Black Culture in Harlem, which is one of the most preeminent research centers on Black history and culture in the country. Arturo Alfonso Schomburg, a Puerto Rican who was the mentor of John Henry Clark. And Rosa Clemente ran as vice president with Cynthia McKinney a number of years ago. And I can go on and on and on and name a number of folks. But I also want to mention last year, the FBI foiled a terrorist attack when a white nationalist was going to shoot up Black people at a Bad Bunny concert in Atlanta. I don't know if you remember that. And I was like, I mean, there may be some Black folks there, but I don't think there'd be a whole bunch. So I don't know if you guys remember that. And I think that was kind of like when he started doing his tours outside the country.
Okay. Well, I always appreciate your insight, Fahima. Thank you so much. Listen, this is going to be an ongoing conversation, right? We are only in week 4 of the NFL season. Go Rams.
Even though they're losing right now.
Are they really?
It's by a touchdown.
All right. Don't say that. 3-1.
It's early.
Victory. Shout out to the Rams, man. All right, listen. We're going to put a pin on that. And we're going to get into Killer Mike, right? So Killer Mike is a well-respected activist. Is Killer Mike an activist now? What do we call Killer Mike?
He's still a rapper to me.
Does he still put out music?
Yeah, he just dropped. He had the, if I'm not mistaken, the Grammy hip hop. The best hip hop award.
He sure
last
did.
Year,
I forgot about that. Clearly, I am not a consumer.
You're not checking for his music at all.
Killer Mike. I think I haven't noticed a Killer Mike track since Killer Mike first dropped.
I mean, he has a message with his music. He's not trying to turn you up. So.
No, I mean, and you know, admittedly, I like turn up music. Look for it.
I'm with you too.
Don't necessarily always need a message, but if the message comes along and I enjoy it, I'm open to it.
I'm just saying that's probably the reason why you probably didn't hear about it.
That could very much be it too. That is not what is in fashion currently. It's not 1993 where, you know, we're bobbing our heads by the speaker listening to the planetary evolution of hip hop. Go ahead. Why are you looking at me like that?
Completely random.
Yes.
Would a group like A Tribe Called Quest survive in today's hip-hop climate?
I don't know. So here's the thing that would be interesting for them, right? They are unique in look and in sound, right? But I think that they would be successful in a way that some of our underground stuff would be, you know, and they were almost underground back in the day. El Segundo was a big pop hit. It helped that it was played on MTV. That boosted it up, right, and crossed it over. But I don't know. I don't know. That's an interesting question. Listen, back to the original point, which is Killer Mike jumped out the window on somebody's post about Ayesha Curry, like a lot of people have been. You guys feel that Ayesha is disrespecting her marriage, disrespecting her man. She wants the attention. She wants to be out there having a hot girl summer.
Yeah, she's trying to get some of that.
Twerk, twerk.
Not from Steph.
This is what people feel, right? And so Killer Mike left a little bit of commentary on a post regarding this, right? He has something to say. He said specifically, let me pull it up because, you know, I like the receipts. He left a comment and he said, "My ninja said she wanna go be Glow," as in Glorilla. "Man, Steph doesn't deserve the embarrassment, for real, for real. God bless him." And then you know what happened? Steph Curry found his way to the comment section of wherever this was posted. And Steph said to Killer Mike, "Nah, not you, Mike. I'm cool staying silent and letting these other clowns have their moment. And you're the worst of them, whoever this TikToker was. But you better than that, Killer Mike. Stay in your lane and let God keep blessing me like he is. We are good over here. Deuces. So Steph is saying he's not tripping. He's not worried. He's good in his situation. Why is everybody else so mad for him? Honestly. Steph has never alluded to or looked as if he was embarrassed, hurt, upset about Ayesha and her extracurricular activities. And I don't mean that in stepping out sense. I mean in, her endeavors, her partying or whatever. So why is everyone so bent on saying she doesn't respect her man? Why are you projecting? Because that's what it boils down to. Well, Andy?
I don't think any man wants their woman, significant other, to speak about them in that manner. I don't care. I don't care if you have them desires. You keep that tucked. I should be the only person to know that. And maybe, your close friends. But you on a podcast telling the whole world about your desires on that level.
There's so many stories like that. I mean, and I do understand, do not publicly embarrass me.
It makes it seem like Steph isn't holding it down.
But I also think that context is key. And people didn't allow for the context of the conversation she was having. She basically was saying she thought that they would just be friends. There's nothing wrong with that.
She talked about wanting attention from other men.
That was a separate, but I also feel as though context is key. People listen to those words, that part, and not the conversation that was around it and the bigger thing that she was saying.
2 strikes, you're out.
When we come forward, we'll get into Killer Mike's apology. All of that and more on the other side. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Sweet like the peach, this Atlanta clown. Home of the dealers and the strippers and the clubs, though. Catch you coming out that Magic City with a snub. Lurking in the club on tourist month. Welcome to Atlanta, up the jury month. These monkeys looking for some Luda and Jermaine. And all that found was some Ruger and some pain. Pow, mother, pow, come up off the chain. Pow, mother, pow, one off in it right. We some money and hungry wolves.
Are you ready for the hottest entertainment scoop in Los Angeles? She's bringing you exclusive interviews with today's biggest stars, behind-the-scenes Hollywood insights, and all the entertainment news you need to know. She's breaking down what's trending, what's ending, and what's just beginning in the world of entertainment. You're riding with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Timmy Eswick with BIN News Now. One California Democrat says the shutdown is about the Epstein files. Democratic California Congressman Eric Swalwell says the shutdown is delaying the swearing in of a Democratic member of Congress from Arizona.
Rather than come back to Washington and see that person sworn in, which would have led to the Epstein file vote, Republicans didn't even come back. So in many ways, this is an Epstein shutdown.
A top Air Force general has announced his retirement. It comes after a speech that pulled in military brass from all over the world. Pete Hegseth and President Donald Trump discussed fitness regulations and overhauling military standards, which included beards and hairstyles. Some have seen the comments during that meeting as a way to push black people out of the military. Finally, Kid Cudi leaving his fans with music before his hiatus.
See what it really could be. I'm so glad I'm breathing.
Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
In Diamond Bar, the 60 freeway, eastbound to Grand Avenue, broken down Big Rig in the right lane. Stop and go traffic from Azusa Avenue. It's about a 20-minute delay there. Santa Fe Springs on the 605 freeway northbound to Telegraph Road. That wreck is in the left lane. Traffic is stopped from Rosecrans Avenue. 35 minutes of additional driving there for you probably. And in Anaheim, the 57 freeway southbound before Catella, there's a wreck on the right shoulder costing you 45 minutes.
Do you really know what's in your tap water? We believe your water should support your health, not work against it. Upgrade your home with a LifeSource whole house system. Clean water from every tap, no salt, no hassle. Call 1-800-WATER-99 or visit lifesourcewater.com.
Warranty limitations apply.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
If you're planning to watch the Rams game tonight against San Francisco on TV, you'll need to be a Prime Video subscriber. Prime is the only outlet available to watch the game. Prime is a new broadcast partner with the NFL, which is trying to expand its audience to folks who stream all of their TV entertainment. The SWAC Conference fined HBCU Florida A&M $10,000 for inappropriate comments made by the school's band announcer during halftime of Saturday's Florida A&M Alabama State football game. The SWAC also suspended band announcer Joe Bullard for Florida A&M's next 2 home games. Bullard was punished for making an insensitive remark on the mic about Alabama State's plus-size dance team known as the Honeybees. Bullard and Florida A&M made public apologies after fans from both schools expressed their disappointment with Bullard's comments. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Follow the leader.
KBLA Talk 1580.
Follow the leader.
If you're not following KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcast of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Got your black. Follow the leader. Oh my God. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
Seems like there's more identity theft in the news every day.
Another major healthcare breach was reported today, resulting in the exposure. Now, 1 in 4 consumers have been a victim of identity.
That's because there are endless places that could accidentally expose you to identity theft, in a breach, or simply by mistake. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at lifelock.com. Terms apply.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Worried about eviction? You have rights, and Stay Housed LA can help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between LA County, the City of Los Angeles, and local service providers. From Lancaster to Long Beach, we're here to help you with tenant education workshops, legal clinics, free legal services for eligible tenants, and online resources about tenant protection laws. Don't face eviction alone. Call our hotline at 1-888-694-0040. That's 1-888-694-0040. Or visit stayhousedla.org. Stay Housed LA, keeping Los Angeles residents in their homes. Stay Housed LA, your rights, your home, our community. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer. Are you hungry for news that matters to you in the African-American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
You're listening to Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
And no, we're not kidding. If you feel the same as me, you gotta wanna
Welcome back in. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. Shout out to Heart and Soul, man. They are from LA. It was 3 members. Well, it was more members to Heart and Soul, the group. But dancing back up for Bobby, it was 2 that you saw, but there was a switch out because some stuff happened. But anyway, shout out to Willie, Derek, and Kaylin. Those are the guys from Heart and Soul. Royale Jenkins on point, pointing out that in the On Our Own video, Donald Trump was featured in that video, along with a lot of other famous celebrity faces that were related and connected to New York at that time.
That's when we was rocking with Trump, huh?
A little bit,
Well, some
yeah.
of us
He was
still are,
also
though, right?
in Home Alone 2, I think it was. And he was kind of seen as a little, well, for a minute. And then I think, when did the Central Park 5 come along? And then after that, I guess it got tricky and then he came back. I don't know. It's always been an interesting ride, right? But that's a story for another day. So I want to play Killer Mike's apology. And then we got a phone call. So we'll get into that. He was on Club Shay Shay, right? So welcome back, Club Shay Shay. And Shannon asked him about it. So here was his response.
Steph Curry, Ayesha Curry. I apologize for my statement being misconstrued. I was just stoned up trying to make a joke out of it. What's something that it wasn't my damn business, like my wife said. Steph did something that all us brothers with women should do, and that's stand up and defend your woman. No matter if somebody step on her foot, no matter if they did it or not, man, check and say, hey, man, you didn't say excuse me. So let me say again, Ayesha, Steph, excuse me. I apologize deeply, and I'm searching for your address so I may send y'all some of this Paloma. Y'all may make more love, make beautiful light-skinned babies for us.
So, one, I appreciate the accountability. I appreciate him manning up and saying, you know, I apologize. I was wrong. I was getting in your business and I had no place. I think more people need to be real about that position and do that, right? It wasn't like, you know, he was just in the comments fooling around. But sometimes you got to remember, be respectful. Okay, we got a caller, Yolanda from Inglewood, the Biased Opinion. Welcome in, Yolanda. What's on your mind tonight?
What's up, Jill? Well, first of all, hi. How y'all doing? I miss y'all.
Hey,
Second of all, I just want to say that I was going to say something different, but when you just said what you said, it made me think about this. People want people in their business when they want praise and when they want accolades, and that are girls and that are boys, and pat on the back. But when somebody disagrees with your position or what you're saying, now you're in my business. Nobody asked her to go on a podcast and say the stuff that she said. So whether it was Killer Mike or myself or John or A+, she opened up the door for somebody to have an opinion about her life that she could have kept to herself.
I mean, and I think that's fair. I mean, and I'm sorry, I'm going to let you continue, but what about the question of, but if Steph is okay with it in his marriage, doesn't that just kind of, I mean, he's still there.
It's the same thing with the Chris Brown and Rihanna situation, right? Rihanna done forgave Chris Brown, but there's so many people that still hold that against him.
And I think that's crazy. I think at a certain point, even if you don't rock with that, right, it is not impacting your day-to-day per se. Like, everybody can have a comment, but to be so angry, to be like, you know, she's disrespecting his manhood. She want a hoe in the streets. Y'all don't know that lady.
Well,
but go ahead. Go ahead.
To Chris Brown, for any of us who have lived long enough to have been 18 and then 28, then 38, and then whatever 8 you are right now, who wants to be held to the worst thing that they probably ever did forever? Like, that's just totally unfair. He was a kid. He was 18, 19 years old. He's a 38-year-old man now with a father of 3. His life is completely different. So that's just unfair. But back to Ayesha, she's a married woman who is a public figure who's cooked books and basketball, the real basketball wife. Why would you say something publicly like that to embarrass your husband, whether he's cool with being embarrassed by you or he's pretending to be cool to be embarrassed by you? Because to A+'s point, who wants to be embarrassed by their mate anywhere, let alone on a podcast that everybody can hear?
But how many people really listened to the entire context of the conversation. If they had, let me tell you why it's important. Because context matters. And if you listen to the complete thought, then maybe you would understand that the point wasn't to embarrass or to elicit dissatisfaction or to position herself as, I was the catch in this thing. I wasn't looking at dude.
Okay, I'm going to say this. It's still her responsibility, right? She's on a podcast, and I know how these podcasts go. They going to clip it up. They gonna take a particular quote that they know that's going to hook people in. If you know that this is going to come out and you know that it's going to get clipped that way,
Steph has said in interviews before when talking of their relationship, we were just friends at first. We met like at 15, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. He didn't say right off the bat, I was on her or anything like that. He felt the same. So
I heard
why is it right? Because nobody's paying attention to that because people got a target on Ayesha's back.
Yeah, because you're supposed to hold it down for the golden boy.
Kylos Malatry says they're only talking about Ayesha because she's good looking. Every man feels good when their woman frustrates other men. RG3 is another dude who probably enjoys out there. I see what you did there. However, I feel like that's a different one. I mean, maybe the causation in what you're setting up is the same, but I feel like it's different motivations and it's different type of responses. Like, I don't know. We'll see. Thank you, Yo. You have any last thoughts before we let you go?
My last thought would be that when you're married or when you're in a relationship, you should just always try to hold your mate in the best light, just so things like this won't happen. You know, whenever I'm talking publicly about relationships, because I am married, I always think about what Marvin would think, because there's a lot of things that I would say privately that I wouldn't say publicly because I'm married, and somebody's going to say that I said it, and I just think of it. Now, maybe she didn't mean it that way, and I just think the truth is often just said in jest, and maybe she really didn't really like him at first and she just stayed with him for the bag. I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. She didn't stay with him for the bag because they didn't get together until many years after the time period that she was talking about. But I mean, I feel that. I also think that we also might have a different, and when I say we, I mean people in general have a different barometer of what language is and what we feel is embarrassing or what we feel is taking it too far. Because she hasn't said anything technically to me, right, that is like questioning Steph as a man, as a father, as an individual, as far as his looks, his treatment of her. There have just been things that she has talked about as a woman who is a public figure as well, married early and was seeking the spotlight, but thusly thrust into the spotlight in a different way than she expected. So I think when we talk about having open and honest conversations about things that we go through, especially when we're talking about marriage and relationships, there are steps, I believe, to get to a healthy, happy union. And sometimes people aren't always aware of the things or the feelings that they may have. And the point initially of some of these conversations is to share that, relate to it, and, you know, understand you're not alone. These are healthy ways you can work through it, or this is how you felt, and it's not the end of the world, or things of that nature. But that's just me. And again, I completely understand people not wanting to embarrass their significant other. I talk about that all the time. One of my huge rules is no public humiliation, no public embarrassment. I don't play those games. No.
And with regards to Steph Curry, right?
Yeah.
The reason why he said that he was cool with it, how do we know that he was cool with it?
We don't.
He's just defending his wife in public.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? From Killer Mike. But I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't have no conversation.
But here's my thing. When I say that, I'm saying with her, but people also point to her outsideness, her whatever. She's still doing podcasts. She's still posting up in little skirts time, you know, from time to time. That's what I'm trying to say. Get it out. And so when I say he's cool with it. I understand defending your wife because you got to defend your wife. But I'm also saying these other things are happening, and outside looking in, he doesn't appear to be tripping off of that. So thank you for calling in, Yolanda. We always appreciate that. When we come forward, we're going to get into a different side of love from Tyler Lepley and more trending topics and headlines and phone calls. All that and more. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
You're riding with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Open enrollment is your opportunity to choose a plan that connects you to Providence's comprehensive healthcare network. Choose a plan that includes Providence and gain access to a dedicated team of highly trained primary care physicians and specialists. From nationally recognized doctors and hospitals, Providence ensures quality care is always within reach. When you choose Providence, you choose after-hours care through our nurse advice line, urgent care, or virtual express care. You choose 24/7 access through the Providence mobile app to message providers, request prescription refills, schedule appointments, check lab results, and more. This open enrollment, prioritize your well-being with the peace of mind that comes from choosing a provider that values excellence and compassionate care. Don't just choose a plan. Choose a plan dedicated to health equity and community engagement. Choose a plan that believes health is a human right. Choose a plan that delivers exceptional care and cares about your community. Choose a plan that offers Providence. Visit chooseprovidence.org to learn more.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Los Angeles Regional Food Bank is on a mission to fight hunger and provide nutritious food to those in need across our community. They partner with federal, state, and local programs advocating for better policies and funding for critical hunger relief programs like Cal Fresh, the Emergency Food Assistance Program, and the Child and Adult Care Food Program. The food bank works with coalitions and local representatives to make sure hunger is addressed in every district of LA County. They also run nutrition education campaigns, raise hunger awareness, and source nutritious food for distribution, all while supporting regulations that allow food pantries to operate safely. Want to help? Visit lafoodbank.org or call 323-234-3030 to volunteer or find a food bank near you. Together, we can ensure that no one goes hungry in Los Angeles County. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You're listening to Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome back in. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. So, Ayesha gets the people going. And, of course, we have someone else that wants to give their opinion tonight. So, welcome in Eric from Carson. Eric, I know you have a strong opinion on this topic. So, let's hear it.
How you doing, Jill?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. I just want to say that I really enjoy Yolanda. She's one of my favorite people next to you, and I really like where she always comes from. It's easy to follow, and so I'm just going to say that as far as Chris Brown is concerned, I will disagree with her. She said 18, 28, 38. You shouldn't be. You change. Well, Chris Brown's behavior is consistently inappropriate. So if he had changed, actually, she would be right. But he's continuing the same behavior. As far as Ayesha is concerned, I feel like Steph is the celebrity in the family, and he's the brand of the family. And I think her podcast it just don't make sense to me. It is not necessary. You need to just let Steph be. He is the star of the family.
So here's the thing with that, and I hear you, but here's the thing, right? People need to be a whole individual and not just Mrs. Steph Curry. Okay, so she had her own aspirations. She was chasing her TV actress dreams or whatever out here in LA when her and Steph connected. So let's be clear. It's not as if he also wasn't aware of who she was, right? And so, again, I don't believe that Ayesha thinks she's saying anything inappropriate. We are sharing experiences. We are talking about my life and the things that I've drawn to. Now, Steph knows probably how she feels, right? And if he hasn't put a muzzle on her, so to speak, which is what people seem to be calling for, hence why I use those words, then everybody else kind of at this point, because we are years from the peak of all of the stuff about everybody not wearing clothes. She's faced backlash for that for the last 10 years, all types of things. We are almost in the twilight of Steph's career. Steph is heading full speed towards retirement. Why are y'all mad, right? Here's the thing, though. You guys don't pay attention to what Savannah may or may not be saying. Savannah James has a podcast that is on every week. You guys aren't paying attention to some of the things that Savannah is saying.
What is Savannah saying?
I'm saying that she is expressing the same type of thing, being a young woman that came into a relationship
Jill,
early. Yes.
You're the woman of receipts.
I am.
I need receipts.
All right, I'll pull them up.
Thank you.
Everybody is Crazy is her podcast. I'll pull some receipts for tomorrow. I got y'all. All right, Eric, before I let you go, any last moments, any last thoughts?
My closing remark would be that since his career is heading towards an end, let it end, and then you can be the star, Ayesha. And Michelle Obama could probably run circles around Obama, but Barack, but she uplifted her man, and she was the first lady, and that was her role.
And people are still mad at her for writing in her book that she did not like that man for 10 years. 10 years, she said it. All right? Like, she was frustrated. She was upset. She had things. So, again.
When they were married, or?
Yeah.
Wow.
Basically that.
Damn it, Michelle.
So, again, sharing her experience as a woman married to a powerful man that went through some things.
I think this brings up a great topic. I mean, we've discussed it, for the past 30 minutes or so. But, if you're a man or a woman of prestige, or if you're not a man or woman of prestige, we talked about not embarrassing your spouse. Mm-hmm. But I get on the flip side, you're being on a podcast and you're probably talking relationships. You're not going to talk about everything that's just hunky-dory. You're probably going to talk about, the trenches and stuff like that to maybe uplift somebody else.
Exactly.
I get that. But I guess the question I have is, do you share every piece of it?
What makes you think that they're sharing every piece of it? Michelle Obama wrote a book, and her book largely was about the climb that they needed, what they endured through her life and for the presidency. So there you have it. It's a lot happening in our chat, the YouTube chat. You guys should check into that. Eric, thanks for calling in as always. We appreciate you. Since we're giving fan spotlight moments, not fan spotlight moments, that's a bad word. Friends, VIPs, VIP spotlight. Shout out to Bobby Williams in the chat. He sent a nice letter here to the station. I did receive it. I appreciate your support. I appreciate you requesting that Tavis give me another hour for my show. What I can tell you is we get here right now with this hour. I appreciate you. But right now we get right here. And our lineup is so action-packed, there's actually not room for that to happen. But shout out to you. Thank you for locking in. Fahima says, Jill, that was early in the Obama marriage prior to the presidency. Prior to the presidency, I guess what my point is that it was during his ascension, Senate, like all of the things that he came. There are points in a marriage, in a relationship where you may not be one-to-one. That's why right there in the vows up front, they tell you for better or for worse, because it's going to be some worse, right? And why can't we talk about it if we're being sensitive to that individual? I don't know. But again, the language used, the conversation points, it's going to differ and might be triggering, because I also feel like a lot of this is triggering to individuals, right? That they are projecting their own personal situations, feelings, or whatever onto a conversation that on its surface, to those involved or participating in the actual relationship, don't think of it as, gut-wrenching, take out our relationship or whatever. But again, I understand. Listen, that's my time. I appreciate you guys locking in each and every Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. for your trending topics and headlines. I do my best to translate all the foolishness and have a good conversation. Now, coming up next, the voice of reason, Zoe Williams. He is going to give you all of the things, as always. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
That you give it to me and just me only. Yeah, girl, you chosen. Get up when you bust wide open. It's the ocean. I'm just imposing. That you give it to me and just me only.
Girl, you chosen. Sign this NDA, no, you can't bring no phones in. We walk in and they're like, what's all that commotion? No, he can't step a foot in here if we don't know him. Treat you special, girl, I hit you with the roses. Can't stand your boyfriend, he too controlling. You get along better with me. Up when you wide open.
Girl, you chosen. Get up when you bust wide open. It's the ocean. I'm just imposing. That you give it to me and just me only. Yeah, girl, you chosen. Get up when you bust wide open. It's the ocean.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Tammy Eswick with BIN News Now. ICE raids on Chicago's South Side turning heads after agents detained 4 people yesterday at a homeless shelter.
What they have portrayed in the public is not really how things are being executed. And